Have you ever wondered why some women choose to engage in deeply intimate acts with their partners, such as oral sex, and what it truly signifies about their relationship? Is it simply about pleasure, or does it reveal something far more profound? In this video, we'll dive into the wisdom of a 92-year-old woman who shares powerful insights on how these intimate moments can strengthen emotional and physical bonds, build trust, and enhance mutual satisfaction. Most men think they know what turns a woman on, but few understand the deeper emotional meaning behind her desire to be intimate. Stay with us until the end, because what you're about to learn will change the way you see intimacy forever. You'll discover the real reason women engage in oral sex and how it reflects their emotional connection, the biggest mistake men make that kills intimacy without even realizing it, and how to create a relationship where she wants to be close to you without pressure or obligation. Partner, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot, so if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread our message. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment number 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now let's get started. 1. The psychology of female intimacy. Why she truly desires you. The psychology of female intimacy is deeply rooted in emotional connection, far more than physical attraction alone. For many women, intimacy is not merely a pursuit of physical pleasure. It is a profound expression of trust, emotional safety, and closeness. When a woman chooses to engage in acts of deep physical intimacy, such as oral sex, it is often a reflection of her inner emotional state and the level of security she feels with her partner. These gestures, when given willingly, are among the most powerful signals of emotional bonding and personal vulnerability. While many men may assume that a woman's desire is driven primarily by visual or physical cues, research and real-life experience suggest otherwise. A woman is far more likely to desire closeness when she feels emotionally supported, seen, and valued. If her emotional needs are met, if she feels respected, cherished, and understood, intimacy tends to follow naturally. On the other hand, if she feels dismissed, unappreciated, or emotionally neglected, her desire begins to fade, regardless of how strong her initial love for her partner may be. Emotional connection is not a bonus in the relationship. For women, it is the foundation upon which physical intimacy rests. To illustrate this, consider the story of a couple who had been married for over 30 years. In the early years, their relationship was vibrant. There was warmth, regular affection, and a shared sense of joy. But slowly, without any dramatic event, the woman began to withdraw. She stopped initiating affection and seemed distant. Her husband was puzzled and hurt. He believed their love was intact, and he assumed that perhaps age or hormonal changes were to blame for the shift. What he did not see was the subtle erosion of their emotional bond. Over time, the man had stopped offering small affirmations, stopped listening with full attention, and had begun to take her presence for granted. Although he believed he was still being a good partner, she no longer felt emotionally connected to him. She felt invisible, like her efforts went unnoticed and her thoughts unimportant. This emotional gap, though never spoken about directly, became the very reason her physical interest declined. What many men fail to recognize is that emotional intimacy is not something that can be assumed once a relationship is established. It must be nurtured continuously. When a woman no longer feels desired on an emotional level, her instinct is to pull away, often without consciously understanding why herself. She may still love her partner deeply, but the disconnection causes her to retreat physically. This misunderstanding leads many men to feel rejected, which in turn can cause frustration or distance, further deepening the gap. This cycle is rarely intentional, Most men do not set out to neglect their partner's emotional needs, but without awareness, they can unknowingly create a relationship environment where intimacy slowly withers. Understanding the emotional foundation of female desire is the first step in rebuilding true connection, one that brings both emotional and physical closeness back to life. 2. The silent mistake that pushes women away. One of the most common yet silent mistakes that many men make in long-term relationships is gradually stopping the behaviors that once made their partner feel special. This unintentional shift slowly erodes intimacy. In the beginning, when love is new and fresh, most men go out of their way to make their partner feel valued. They listen with genuine interest, offer compliments, initiate small surprises, and consistently express affection. These actions create emotional closeness and build a strong sense of connection. However, as time passes and life becomes filled with responsibilities, routines, and stress, these thoughtful gestures often fade. The core mistake lies in the assumption that once love is established, it will maintain itself. Many men fall into the belief that if they are loyal, provide stability, and remain physically present, that should be enough to keep the emotional and physical connection alive. But love, especially in a woman's heart, does not flourish on routine alone. It needs to be nurtured through consistent emotional attention. When that emotional attention begins to fade, so does her sense of closeness. Women do not typically fall out of love in a single moment. Instead, it's a gradual process. When a woman no longer feels noticed or appreciated, she begins to pull away, not necessarily out of choice, but out of emotional depletion. She may stop initiating affection, become quieter, or seem distracted. These are often signs that her emotional needs are not being met, and once the emotional connection weakens, physical intimacy is one of the first things to disappear. Many men misinterpret this withdrawal, assuming their partner is simply no longer interested in sex or blaming it on age, stress, or external factors. In reality, what is missing is emotional closeness. A telling example comes from a man who had been married for over 30 years. He shared that his relationship had changed drastically. The warmth and passion they once had now seemed like a distant memory. "We used to be so close," he said, "and now it feels like we're just roommates." When asked about the last time he did something that made his wife feel genuinely special, he was silent. It wasn't that he didn't care or had stopped loving her, but somewhere along the way he had stopped showing it in the ways that mattered most to her. The encouraging part of this story is that change is possible. When the man began to intentionally show appreciation again through kind words, small gestures, and emotional presence, his wife responded. The emotional distance that had quietly grown between them began to shrink. She became more open, affectionate, and engaged. Their intimacy returned not because he made a grand gesture, but because he resumed doing the small things that made her feel seen and cherished. This illustrates a powerful truth. Making a woman feel special is not a one-time achievement, but an ongoing commitment. When a man consistently nurtures emotional intimacy, physical closeness often follows naturally. 3. The 92-year-old woman's secret to everlasting passion. The insight shared by a 92-year-old woman reveals a powerful truth about lasting passion in relationships. Her years of experience taught her that true intimacy does not fade because of age or appearance, but because of a shift in emotional connection. She once said a woman gives her heart and body fully when she feels cherished, protected, and emotionally secure. This one simple idea explains why some couples maintain a strong, intimate bond for decades, while others slowly drift apart. It is not about constant effort or dramatic romantic gestures. It is about understanding what truly matters to a woman's heart. Attraction, contrary to popular belief, is not about trying harder. Many men believe that if they could reverse time, look younger, get in better shape, or improve their performance in bed, their partner's passion would suddenly be reignited. While these efforts may show good intention, they often miss the real issue. What truly influences a woman's desire is how she feels emotionally within the relationship. If she feels loved, respected, and emotionally close to her partner, physical closeness tends to follow naturally and without pressure. When she feels emotionally fulfilled, she doesn't have to be convinced or persuaded. She genuinely wants to connect. This idea is supported by countless real-life examples. I once spoke with a man in his late 60s who shared a surprising and heartfelt story. He told me, "My wife and I have the best intimacy we've ever had, and it has nothing to do with my age or physical shape. It's because I finally understand what makes her feel loved." In his earlier years, he admitted that he focused more on external factors, his appearance, performance, and routines. Over time, though, his wife grew distant and he became frustrated and confused. Instead of continuing down the same path, he decided to do something different. He stopped trying to fix the surface and instead focused on emotional presence. He began speaking to her with more care, listening with real attention, and noticing the small things she did each day. He stopped assuming that being a good provider or physically present was enough. Instead, he reminded her through his words and actions that she mattered to him, that she was still the person he cherished deeply. That change in mindset made all the difference. The emotional warmth returned, and along with it, so did the physical intimacy they had once lost. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Women are not waiting for a perfect man. They are longing to feel deeply understood and emotionally safe. When a man creates that kind of space in the relationship, age, looks, and external achievements become far less important. Passion is not lost with time, it fades when emotional closeness disappears. But when emotional security is rebuilt, passion often returns, stronger than ever. 4. The simple actions you can take today to strengthen your emotional connection and bring intimacy back into your relationship. Rebuilding emotional and physical intimacy in a relationship does not require grand gestures or dramatic changes. Often it is the small, intentional actions taken each day that make the greatest impact. These seemingly simple habits, when done consistently, can renew your partner's emotional connection with you and reignite a level of closeness that may have faded over time. Many men find themselves wondering why the spark has dimmed, why affection has become rare, or why their partner no longer seems as engaged. The answer is usually not in what is being done wrong, but in what is no longer being done at all. Women respond deeply to emotional signals. When they feel secure, appreciated, and emotionally seen, their natural desire for intimacy returns without force or persuasion. When a woman feels emotionally disconnected, her physical desire often fades as well. It's not that she has stopped loving her partner or no longer finds him attractive. Rather, it's that something within her has changed. She no longer feels emotionally safe or understood. The reassuring part is that this internal shift can be reversed. If you've ever longed for the way she looked at you in the beginning of your relationship, or if you've hoped she would once again initiate affection and closeness, the key lies in renewing that emotional bond. It starts with simple, meaningful acts that touch her heart and restore her sense of connection. Words hold tremendous power in a relationship. The way you speak to your partner can either uplift her or slowly cause her to retreat. Many men say nice things in passing, but few speak in a way that truly reaches a woman's emotional core. Instead of general compliments like, "You look nice," consider saying something specific and heartfelt, such as, "I love the way your smile lights up the room." Acknowledge her efforts in meaningful ways. Rather than a casual "thanks for dinner," try saying, "I really appreciate the love and thought you put into this. It makes me feel cared for." These small but intentional expressions show her that you notice the little things, and those little things are often what matter most to her. When a woman feels seen, she feels safe, and when she feels safe, she opens up emotionally and physically. Physical affection also plays a crucial role, but it must be offered with care. One common mistake is making touch feel like a means to an end. If your only physical contact comes when you're hoping for more, she may begin to associate touch with pressure or expectation. To change this, begin showing affection without an agenda. A gentle touch on her arm, a kiss on her forehead, holding her hand while sitting together. These small, non-sexual gestures tell her that she is loved for who she is, not for what she can offer physically. When a woman feels cherished in quiet, ordinary moments, she becomes more open to intimacy in meaningful ways. Consistency in daily life is the third piece of this emotional puzzle. Women rarely fall in love because of big events or expensive gifts. What touches them most is consistent care, the kind that shows up in everyday interactions. Whether it's remembering a story she told you last week, refilling her tea without being asked, or checking in on her after a stressful day, these repeated acts of attention build trust. They let her know that she matters to you and that her presence in your life is noticed and appreciated. Think of emotional connection as a bank account. Each thoughtful act makes a deposit, and over time, these deposits grow into a strong foundation of trust and emotional safety. When you speak from the heart, offer affection without expectation, and show up consistently in the little things, your partner won't just feel loved, she'll feel desired. And this kind of desire is not born from obligation, but from genuine longing. These habits do more than improve intimacy. They transform how she sees you, how she responds to you, and how she feels in the relationship. 5. Why some relationships feel effortless. Some relationships seem to flow effortlessly, while others feel like constant work despite good intentions. The difference lies not in how much effort one puts in, but in the kind of effort that is made. Many men exhaust themselves trying to hold their relationship together with expensive gifts, elaborate dates, or affectionate words. Yet despite these gestures, their partner may still feel emotionally distant. On the other hand, there are men who appear to do less outwardly, but their relationships are full of connection, warmth, and lasting intimacy. The key is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, making her feel emotionally understood and deeply connected. When a woman feels emotionally secure and seen, her desire for closeness arises naturally. She doesn't need to be convinced, impressed, or won over again and again. Her affection flows freely because she feels valued and safe. True intimacy for her begins in the heart. Understanding this shifts the focus away from superficial effort and redirects it toward building emotional presence. It is not about being the most attractive or the most entertaining partner. It is about being the one who truly listens, truly sees her, and consistently shows that she matters. A powerful example of this dynamic comes from the story of Mark and Lisa, a couple married for many years. Mark was a devoted husband. He worked hard, supported his family, and always told Lisa that he loved her. But over time, he began to notice that something had changed. Lisa had grown quieter, less affectionate, and seemed uninterested in the intimacy they once shared. Mark was confused. From his perspective, he was doing everything right. He was providing, staying loyal, and being outwardly kind. Yet emotionally, they were drifting apart. Instead of reacting with frustration or defensiveness, Mark chose to approach the situation differently one evening. He asked Lisa gently and sincerely, "Tell me what's on your mind. I really want to understand." That small invitation opened the door to a deeper conversation. Lisa wasn't angry about one specific thing. She simply felt unheard, as though her inner world no longer mattered. Mark didn't try to fix anything in that moment. He just listened, stayed present, and validated her feelings. That shift in communication was enough to begin healing their emotional disconnection. Within days, Lisa became warmer, more affectionate, and their intimacy reignited. Not because Mark had done more, but because he had finally made her feel understood. This story highlights a truth that many overlook. Women don't fall in love with actions alone. They fall in love with how those actions make them feel. If a woman feels emotionally distant, even the most generous gifts or romantic efforts may fall flat. But when she feels truly heard, respected, and valued, she begins to desire closeness again, not out of obligation, but from a deep emotional longing. To create this kind of effortless intimacy, a man must begin by asking one simple question: do you feel truly heard and understood in our relationship? And then, he must listen. Not argue, not offer solutions, just listen. That moment of genuine presence often does more for a relationship than any material gift ever could. It's a small act, but it has the power to unlock the emotional connection she craves. Attraction that lasts is not built on trying harder, looking younger, or constantly doing more. It's built on emotional intelligence, the ability to tune in to what your partner feels and needs beneath the surface. The men who enjoy the deepest, most lasting connections are not always the richest, the handsomest, or the most charming. They are the ones who make their partners feel seen, heard, and emotionally secure. So if you want to bring back intimacy in your relationship, don't start with grand plans. Start by showing her that she matters. Ask, listen, appreciate, and be present. Because when she feels connected to you emotionally, she will desire you fully, not as an obligation, but from a place of genuine longing. And that is the real foundation of effortless intimacy. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.